Right guys, so second session of the week. We're doing our slightly harder rotation with 4 giant sets. Today is pull, and you've got the big man James here. He's going to come and help me out today. We've got 4 giant sets, and we're working on back and biceps.
Sorry, baby.
So we haven't really touched on warm-ups or warm-up sets in these videos yet. What we're trying to do in our warm-ups is try and simulate the movement that we're going to be doing in the working set and try and get the blood through the muscle, try and get the energy through the muscle and get it warmed up. We're starting with some scapular retraction activation here with James. We're just trying to pull down through the scapula, which is the wing part on your back. Stretch it out, pull it down, try and get the mind muscle connection between the lats and the brain. Cool. Fucking get out of the way. Right, we'll do a warm-up set, 12 to 15 reps on a manageable weight before we get into our first working set. And again, following that pattern, 6, 12 and 24, 6 super heavy, 12 moderate weight, and then 24 for burnout. Elbows in tight. Pull those elbows in, don't let them flare out. Retract the scapula, pull straight down. That's better. Okay, warm-up set done. We're going to go straight into our working set. We've got 6 heavy lat pull downs. We've got 12 moderate weight seated rows. And then we've got 24 on a rope pull down. Let's go. 6, good. Pull those elbows in tight. 5, long rep, pull down. 4, even harder drive down with the elbows. Pull them right back and down. Good. Good. One more. Good, drop it down. Last set. Straight arm pull downs on the rope. Set yourself up. Good. Good, a little bit further down. And then stretch the lat. That's it. 3, 2, 1, good. So that straight arm pull down is a technically difficult exercise to execute properly. You want to try and keep your chest down, but your shoulders back. And as you come down through the movement, you just lift the chest against the action of the movement. What you don't want to do is increase or decrease the bend in the elbow. You want to not activate any triceps and just shorten the distance from your elbow to your hip. So pulling back to there. What you don't want to do is try and extend the arm as you move it, because we're working too much tricep. We're working back and biceps today. The first giant set done. We've got 2 more rounds of that. Again, we're getting more and more advanced. So if you can push the weight up and still achieve the same reps, then keep pushing it up. Okay, second giant set. Something a bit different. Biceps can be a bit boring. We can do the same exercise over and over again. This is about adaptation and hitting the target muscle without using any accessory muscles. So we're doing a laying bicep curl, and we're using the seated row as our laying piece of equipment. Elbows forward, longer arms. Good. 3. Good. Okay, that second exercise was a wide lat pull down, hit 12 reps on that. Now we're back into biceps. We've got a straight bar bicep curl, 24 reps. Come on, you got it. 6, 5 reps, let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, James, let's get it up. Slow down. That's our first round done. James got 2 more on now. I've got my 3 to do. Just remembering that whenever you're training back, the accessory muscle is often or always the biceps. So if you leave a high volume bicep movement till the end like that, it's gonna burn. Think about your weight selection. That was probably just about right for James because he had a spotter, but if you're new to this or you're in your 3rd rotation, then maybe drop the bar down to a 15. That was a 20 kilo bar, and towards the end he's really struggling. But that's what we want. So if you finish that and you completed it with no pain in the bicep, or you could have done another 10 or 15 reps, and you know that next week that weight's got to go up. Okay, so my set, the other good thing about training with someone is if you've got someone that you're training with similar strength and they've been and they found those reps a little bit easier, then you know that you can already put the weight up. So we add another 2.5s to the bicep curl. We're going to see if we can add a little bit to the lat pull down. Probably keep the 24 reps of bicep curls the same weight because I can see how much James was struggling on that.
Yeah, nice. Very stretch, pause. Up. Come on.
So you see, even for me, I need those cues. So as soon as I started, James set me up, he pulled my scapula down, he pulled my shoulders back, he made sure that my elbows were under the hands. I know all those cues, but often you need to be reminded over and over and over again. So good thing to do, get yourself a training partner, make sure you talk to each other about what you're doing.
Yeah, let's go. 3, 2, 1. Up, go. Come on.
First round done. 2 more of those each, and then we're moving on to our 3rd giant set. Okay, 3rd giant set in this pull day is going to be 6 pull-ups, 12 bent over rows, and then 24 laying rows on the TRX. All you, let's go. 4, 2 more. 5, hold at the top. Up, hold, slow negative. Good man. Give yourself 10 or 15 second rest, and then we go into our bent over rows. We're going to do over grip row. We're going to try and pull it up as close to the hip line as we can get. Over more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good man, nice. Okay, so TRX row, totally dependent on your height as to where you would stand. You'll find out after the first set or so whether you need to move forwards or further back. The further forward you go, the harder it becomes, the more parallel you come to the ground. As you work your way back, the angle decreases and you make it slightly easier. 24 reps. Three, 2, 1. Good man.
Ania, let's go. Nice. Cut the laps now, stay side and shoulders. Forward that hip. Oh, there we go.
So on that movement, as it gets harder, you get more fatigue. It's tempting to stand up more. When you're here, James, tell me to get my chest over, drive the hands back into the hip. That's what you've got to be thinking, even when you're on the 10th, 11th rep, when you're feeling totally fatigued.
Shoulders, drive the elbows low.
So I find the TRX Row particularly hard. 203 pounds at the minute, so any body weight exercises is naturally going to be harder for someone who's heavier. So decrease the steepness on the TRX Row, make it a little bit easier, but always, as always, last 5 reps you should be absolutely dead. But 2 more rounds of that each, then moving on to our last giant set. Okay, so pull is big movements, big muscle groups, pretty fatiguing. So if we think about in our first rotations, we only did like 2 giant sets on pull. We've done 3 on that already. And this time, instead of adding a giant set in, we're gonna add a technique movement. So we've got a compound movement, which is a rack pull. We're focusing hopefully in our lats as much as possible, but really we're working posterior chain, so everything that works up the back of the body. We're only gonna do 6 to 12 reps of this. I want you to work on technique more than anything. Watch how James pulls. He's particularly good at rack pulls. His spinal alignment's really good, and making sure that you're emulating that as much as possible. The reason we've moved on to YouTube rather than Facebook, rather than Instagram, is because we can stop, rewind, you can check form before you do it yourself. So have a look at these. There's only 60 kilos on the bar. I'm just going to show you how James pulls off a rack, and then we'll talk a bit about technique. So, at the bottom of the movement, he's pinching his scapula, he's retracting the shoulders, and he's squeezing the hips through at the top of the movement. So what we're trying to do is increase the angle between the hip and bring the back up straight. So we're hinging at the hip and we're pulling the shoulders back hard and strong. Good. So this sort of weight is super manageable for James. He could pull 180 kilos off this easily, but what we're going to do is get that technique right for the first warm-up set. We're going to build the weight up and drop the reps down as we do so. Okay, so we've shown you the warm-up set, making sure that his mental cues are all there, his mind-muscle connection is there. We've done some work in sets building up to this. It's now 140 kilos, so pretty heavy but manageable for James. We're going to do 6 reps, and what I want you to see is that there's no difference between how he was pulling 60 kilos to how he's pulling 140 kilos. If you feel like as you build up through the weight, then your form starts to fail, then you know you need to step back, go back to basics, and start building that weight up with good form. Good. Shoulders back. Pinching that scapula the whole time. Good. Good man. So you can see the effort was through the roof, the movement was hard, but the form stayed intact, and that's what we want. Okay, so midway through rotation 3, we're introducing some more tricky movements, some more technical movements, and also a few compound lifts. So make sure you watch this video, you take it back to points that you didn't understand, you work through it again before you move on to any of this technical stuff. Get your form right, get the weight selection perfect. We went through 4 sets on there. We had 3 giant sets and then a compound movement at the end. And next session is going to be legs. It's going to follow the same pattern. We're going to work giant sets. We're going to finish with a big compound movement at the end.